What's up everyone, this is Caedmon Cycling, and today we'll be jumping back into our Zwift map series riding the Jungle Loop in Watopia, and we'll be tackling the ever-important Zwift debate, road bike versus mountain bike, and which is faster through the Jungle Loop. Stick around and I'll give you my take. Right now we're riding the lead into the Jungle Loop, so this is technically still part of the Jungle Circuit, but we haven't really reached the loop itself yet. The lead-in's 3.7 miles, so we're currently at 2.5 miles and riding through the Mayan ruins, but we still have a bit to go before we get to the actual Jungle Loop itself. But just a bit of background, this map was added over 3 years ago as part of Watopia's Mayan jungle expansion. And once we finally reach the loop, it's about 4.9 miles long with an elevation gain of 259 feet. And all of that elevation gain is in the first half of the ride. It's about a 3% grade up to the highest point, which is a bridge over a canyon with a river below. And then the second half of the loop is pretty much all downhill from there. So it's a climb up, and then the second half is all downhill. But with that being said, we'll skip forward and I'll see you guys once we start the loop. So we're about 3.5 miles into the ride and finally coming up to the start of the Jungle Loop. Really the lead into the ride is pretty much all flat. If you look at the top of the screen, you can see in 3.5 miles, just 52 feet of elevation gain, very flat, but that'll change quickly once we start this climb as we see the gate here. So once we pass through this gate and under the waterfall, this will be the start of the Jungle Loop. And for those of you who may be new to Zwift, I know I was just a little bit ago. So on the left, you can see the segment is showing right now. So this won't be visible during all times you're riding Zwift, but anytime you get to a sprint, a KOM, or some kind of segment coming up, it'll give you the data on the left. So it'll show any data you have from the last 30 days, but it'll also show the data of everyone on the course right now. So anyone who's still riding within Zwift, you can see their time. So it gives you kind of a time to beat as you go through some of these segments. And you can see on the top screen, under my speed and under my level, it shows Jungle Loop, and then it has a timer started. So that's how I know my current time on the segment. And then once I get towards the end of the segment, we'll see later in the video that it starts showing my estimated time to complete. And it's just a fun way to kind of see how you stack up against the competition, but also how you stack up against yourself, as you can see data from the past 30 days. So we went ahead and skipped forward in this segment. We're getting close to the end of the climb, so almost halfway through the Jungle Loop. In a few seconds here, we'll see the bridge over the river. But this is the point where I really wanted to bring up the big topic of the Jungle Loop. And as part of the Mayan expansion, it really introduced dirt roads into Watopia. That wasn't really seen before. So it brought up this huge question, as here we see the bridge. So halfway through the ride, the rest of it will be downhill once we get over this bridge. But once we reach the Jungle Loop, it's really, besides this bridge, all of the entirety of the segment is dirt. So originally, when Zwift released this quite a few years back, the dirt was really just a visual difference for Zwift, but it didn't actually affect the rolling resistance. So it didn't affect the rider itself. While the rider could see they were on dirt, their speed wouldn't change whether they were on dirt or roads. But that all changed in 2019. So it was about, if this this expansion pack was released in 2017, for 2 years, there was really no difference. But then in 2019, that's when Zwift added rolling resistance to the dirt. And this really provided an opportunity to introduce strategy, especially into the racing. So right now I'm just doing a free ride. So whether I'm using a mountain bike frame or a road bike frame doesn't have much of an effect. But in a race, you can imagine a few seconds is the difference between winning and losing, between getting first place and second place. It's really just hundredths of a second. So in this case, for this ride, as we just skipped forward and we're getting towards the end of the segment here, you can see it's starting to count down towards the end of the jungle loop. But in this case, I used my normal road bike, but I'd urge you guys to try out this route with a mountain bike. And if you ever race along this segment, definitely use that mountain bike and even add the mountain bike tires as well, because these are actually the fastest way to ride through the dirt in Zwift. So the fastest setup would be, I believe there's not the normal Zwift mountain bike, but there's another mountain bike that you can add. I think it's a specialized mountain bike, and then add the Zwift mountain bike tires. And that's the fastest way to ride this route. So just keep that in mind if you're ever doing a race within Zwift that goes through this jungle route. Add the mountain bike setup and see if you're faster than a lot of the road bikes in the races. But we can see here we're getting to the very end. We're at 8.4 miles, got the countdown for just 700 feet left. So thanks guys for joining me again, this time talking about the jungle loop, but I do these Zwift map recaps. Please let me know if you like them. And on my channel, I also do some race recaps. I recently upgraded from Cat D to Cat C, so it's getting a bit more competitive, but I hope you like those. And if you do, like I said, subscribe to my channel. Thanks a lot for watching. This is Caedmon Cycling. I wouldn't be here without you guys, so I appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks. Bye.